Okay, so today we're going to be working on page 7. So on the back side of page 6, flip it over. Page 7. You are going to need the sheet that says elements at the top like this. So pause the video, get that cut out, and get that ready. Get my pen. What color do we want to use? Let's use bluish. Okay, so once you get that cut out and ready, if you scroll down to the description under the video, there's a link to a slideshow where you can find all of the answers. So I want you to go to that link and try to find the answers for this. You can color this if you want. Yeah, so go to that link, go to that slideshow, and see if you can fill this out on your own. You can come back to this video when you're done and check and see if you got them all right. So go ahead and pause and go to that link below. Sweet. I assume you have all of your answers done now. So let's do this one together. Okay, so we're talking about elements. So elements are a substance that cannot be broken down. Feel free to say the answers along out loud. Help you remember them for Monday's quiz. Into simpler substances by chemical means. So that means, like, if I was doing what you guys all think all science is, I was doing chemical reactions, chemistry, pouring stuff, doing other things, lighting things on fire, I can't break it down. So an element is composed of atoms that have the same number of, you should know this by now, protons. Remember, that's their atomic number. In their nucleus, that's where protons live. Okay, we're going to go down to this box that says atomic number. Zoom in on there for you. Okay, every element has a unique atomic number. What a shock. It indicates, that means that it lets you know the total number of protons in the nucleus. Remember, that's where the protons live, in that middle part of the atom, nucleus of the atom. Normal atoms are electrically neutral. That means they have no charge. They're not going to zap me, which means they have the same number of protons as electrons, because remember, protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. So it is also the number of electrons. So the atomic number tells us the number of protons and the number of electrons. Remember, you can pause the video at any time to catch up. So it's always going to be that big whole number, the atomic number, the whole number, no decimal, that's typically above our chemical symbol, which is where we're going to go next. So every element is abbreviated. If you forgot what abbreviated means, that just means shortened, given a nickname. Abbreviated. Oh, that was some bad writing. That's an E there. Using a unique symbol. So symbol is just something that we use to stand for something, of 1 or 2 letters. So you see Mg, magnesium, is 2 letters. Remember, H, hydrogen, is only 1 letter. And if there is the first letter is always capitalized. So you see that as a big M, capitalized. And if there is a second letter, it is always lowercase. So you'll never see one that's like M, big G. You'll never see that. If there's 2 big ones next to each other, that means there are 2 different elements. Some are based on other languages. For example, the symbol Fe, so it's big F, lowercase e, is the symbol for iron, and it's from the Latin ferrium, which it means iron. Okay, so that's going to be that guy right there. Now we're going to go over to this block that says element name. So that's going to be the word that's in that box. Every element has a unique name. Many element names are very old and are based on other languages. For example, chlorine, remember we talked about pools? Chlorine is named after chloros. Oh, that sounds familiar. The Greek word, not word, word for yellowish green, which chlorine is the yellowish green. Newly discovered elements, so the newer ones, are named by whoever discovers them, but must be approved. That means like passed. So they have to vote and say, yep, you did a good job naming, by an international committee. So a committee is just like a group of people that get to decide. So that's that right there. Okay, let's move over to atomic mass. That's going to be the number that has a decimal. It's not a whole number. When we use it in class, we estimate it or round it to a whole number. So atomic mass is the mass of the protons and the neutrons, that's right, in an atom. Every proton and neutron has a mass of 1 AMU. So it's 1 atomic mass unit. Remember, 1 M&M. Electrons do not, N-O-T, not, count towards the mass because they are too tiny. Remember, they're the Miss Philpott of subatomic particles. The mass can be shown with a decimal because it is an average mass of the isotopes. So all the versions, so isotopes is something you're going to talk about in high school, but of all the versions of that element. So sometimes we have those positive and negative charged ones, so it's an average. That's just why there's a decimal. You're not going to need to know that on the quiz. That's something to remember. Okay, let's see. You try. I will do the first part with you, and then you are going to do the second two, maybe by yourself. Okay. Well, let's look together. So what element's neutral atom has 17 chlorons? Chlorons, I just gave you away the answer. Which element's neutral atom has 17 electrons? It is, back up here, chlorine. If you look at our periodic table on our page before this, we can go and look for number 17. And we find it right there. We see that it's Cl, chlorine. Let's look. How many neutrons are in a lithium atom? So lithium's chemical symbol is Li. So its chemical symbol is Li. And if you look closely, that's number 3 on the atomic, or on the periodic table, giving it a 3 as its atomic number. Remember, the atomic number tells us how many protons. So we know it's 3, but it asked us how many neutrons are in a lithium atom. Gotta go back and look. It's so tiny. So that says 6.94 is its mass. If you round up, because it was 6.94, estimate the closest number is 7. So if I had 3 protons plus how many neutrons equals 7 AMU. So what's in there? 4, right? It's not going to be hard math. Remember, we're in science class. We're just using math to learn science. What do you think the cube symbol in the upper right corner of magnesium means? So there's a cube up there. I'm going to tell you that it means it's either naturally a solid, a liquid, or a gas. So the element is naturally a, take your best guess. If you see that nice crisp cube with those edges, you think it's naturally a solid, a liquid, or a gas. If you said solid, you are right. Okay, so you're going to get that glued in on page 7. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the whole page, and that way you can pause it if you need to. So that is on page 7. Oh,
that right.
Okay, so that's page 7. In the next video, you can watch what we're going to do on page 8.